Okay, guys, the great escape. I did escape from Silverwater Prison on the 6th of February 2001.
Danny Shannon funded his drug addiction by committing crimes. He was constantly getting caught breaking into businesses, stealing cars, and in high-speed police pursuit, even escaping in 2001 by scaling the fence here at Silverwater Jail.
That was my partner's birthday. We will cover that. And I'm not trying to say I'm some John Killick. By the way, John's my mate, and nobody's ever going to beat the great helicopter escape. But I will say that only a handful of people have escaped from the jail I escaped from, old Silverwater Jail. I'm not saying I'm some fucking big hectic cunt, but not many people have escaped from there. I know one of the other boys, and to any of the negative Nancy's or trolls out there who want to put shit on me, shut up. Okay, so guys, I did manage to scale a 24-foot barrel fence, launched off the top of that fence while being chased by an officer or spotted by an officer up on that fence. My leg was pissing out blood from skipping through the razor wire, landed on my arm, black and blue from my shoulder to my wrist, ran down Holker Street towards Parramatta River, where I leapt a couple of fences and dived into a shark-infested river. Parramatta River. At that point of the river is about 100 metres in width, and I got away. I was caught on Valentine's Day, just 7 or 8 days later, and I always talk about what a romantic story this is. So guys, stay tuned. It was the 6th of February. I'm going to go back and share a little bit. Another real amazing part about this story is that a fella by the name of Peter Baines, now, if his daughter, I know Peter's passed away now, if his daughter's out there and she hears this is a shout out to you too, because in sharing my stories, his daughter, Peter Baines, was a chaplain out at Silverwater Prison, and he was an absolute legend, and in fact, the chaplain lied for me in court, which helped me to get a really minimum sentence of 21 days, and we're going to talk a little bit about how I got sentenced, how I literally escaped. I managed to spend about $30,000 on the outside abusing Homebake heroin from Perth, about 100 syringes full, and I ended up copping like 21 days. So basically, the moral of this story is it was worth it. So guys, I'd spent a fair bit of time out in Silverwater Prison, right? About 2 years. And I used to do laps, and we used to run around the yard, and I was always eager to get out, of course. You know, I think most prisoners think at some point, oh, I'd love to escape, yeah? Well, I'd spent a solid 18 months in that jail, maybe 2 years, and there was this one little spot in that jail that was just niggling at me. I think I can say this on camera, because I never got caught for this, but I was even down the back. I think it was B-Wing or D-Wing. I was down the back of D-Wing at one stage with a hacksaw blade, trying to cut my way through the fence. Imagine if I got caught by screws back then. I probably would have got done for attempt escape, but I never did. And by the way, those galvanized steel fences and a hacksaw blade just don't fucking cut it. Yeah, I don't think it even made any. Or maybe we cut through one, but you had to cut through like 100. Anyway, there was this one weakness in the security of the fence that I'd noticed over the years I've spent in that jail, and I thought one day I'm going to fucking get out there. Now, when I say a weakness in the security of the fence, let me tell you what I mean. All right, you've got these 24-foot fences, okay? These massive steel fences, and then you've got this big barrel on top of those fences, okay? So say you manage to climb the 20-foot fence, okay? Then you've got this impossible task of getting over that barrel. You can't. It's impossible unless you're fucking Spider-Man. Well, there's this one spot in that jail where the barrel and the fences met another fence, and it was there that I thought, well, the barrel could only lean one way, and there was one little edge that you could get up, and just so happened that one little edge happened to meet the back of the visiting area. Now, back in the day, that Dawn Delois, that jail has changed dramatically now. It's probably even harder to get out of there now. I haven't heard of anyone escaping, but back in the day, the visiting area, there was this program called Kairos running. It was a religious program. Now, I used to go. It was held on a Wednesday night. I'll tell you why I fucking went. Not to bag religion or any way, shape or form, but I love coffee and biscuits. I was on quite a heavy dose of methadone. Here's part of the story that you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I escaped on methadone, on 120 mils of methadone. I'm a dumb cunt. Basically, let's just acknowledge I escaped literally because I had about $50,000 waiting for me outside. Not waiting for me, my girlfriend had it, which is a fucking concern in itself, isn't it? She was chopping in, and I was on 120 mils of don't. Plus, it was her birthday, my son's mum. By the way, my son, yeah, I won't even get to that bit. Not yet. All right, so I started attending this event called Kairos in the visiting area. It was held on a Wednesday night. Now, if you look back on the 6th of February 2001, I really should do this. In my head, it's a Wednesday. I probably read this from the police report as well. Anyway, I've been attending this program for a while. As I said, there was good coffee and biscuits. I always had the munchies on the methadone. That's why I used to go. Plus, it was nice to get out of the fucking being locked down in the wing and get up there. Well, I had a plan that day. I was going to escape. Now, Patrick Page, I'm going to call you out, Paddy, because I know you always love the fact that, or you always hate the fact that I don't mention your name. Pagey, you absolute legend. He was my co-offender. And me and him diverged a plan. Now, I said to him, Pat, I'm going. Let's go. I said, you coming with me? Anyway, we came up with this plan that we said, yeah, fuck it, let's go. I need to mention that because later on I'll tell you another reason why we got the 21-day parity sentencing. We both got that sentence. All right. Anyway, it's the end of the visiting, it's the end of the chorus night, and everyone's inside holding hands, saying prayers and singing Kumbaya, right? Well, me and my mate have slipped out the back and we started scaling this 24-foot fence. Now, this is the spot where the one spot in the jail that the barrel leant over to the other side. This is the one spot where, with a great amount of effort, now keep in mind, I was 65 kilos looking like a half-sucked aspirin. Back then, like I wasn't that long in jail. I mean, I wasn't that. I was still using. I was on the methadone. I managed to get up on top of that fence. Now, Pat was probably a little more agile than me, but I did manage to get up there. And I remember that last leap, finally climbing up the fence, finally taking that last leap. Where if I fell, and you got to keep in mind, there was one spot where the two fences. So we're like shimmering our way up the fence. Now, if a screw had seen us, we'd be fucked, of course, but they weren't. And anyway, managed to get up on that corner of the fence. And as I took that last leap of faith and I managed to put my hand around this big barrel, I remember looking down thinking, fuck, if I fall, I'm a goner. I'm dead, for sure. Anyway, managed to pull myself up on top of that barrel. I don't know if Pat was before me or if he was after me, but anyone in the comments or see Pagey, your legend, let me know in the comments. Anyway, we got up on that fence. Well, as we were approaching, we're still in the middle of the jail, guys, all right? We're nowhere near away yet, okay? We're in the middle of the fucking jail up on top of the fence, which is a fucking bonus, isn't it? As we're creeping along towards the perimeter, Mr. Singh, with the fucking turban, Mr. Singh's, holy fuck, he's on the French, straight on the radio to the squad, the MEU, the Metropolitan Enforcement Unit, who have called the cops, who have let authorities know that the boys are up on the fence, let's go get them. Well, me and Paige have had to skip through the fucking razor wire, boom, 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 cutting my legs to pieces. I'm bleeding. I've launched off the top of this 24-foot fence, okay, and I've landed on my arm, black and blue, from here to here. 24 foot is a big fucking drop. No pain. I haven't got time to worry about the pain. My mate's ahead of me, I think, or maybe he's behind me. I don't remember clearly. This is fucking going back a long time ago. I'm running down towards Parramatta River. This is on Holker Street. Now, I can tell you this much. By the time we got to that fence, the fucking dog squad, the coppers and the squad, the MEU, are on their way. They're at the top of the street. We can see lights flashing. As we hit the bottom of the fence, we start bouncing fences. There's about 3 big fences that you got to bounce with barbed wire and everything. Fuck the cutting yourself. We're just skipping, just bouncing over these things. It's hard with one arm. I'm like fucking lift one, drag one. we dive into Parramatta River. It's about 8:30 p.m, maybe 9 p.m. It's pitch dark. There's all these torches behind us. Woof, woof, woof. Dogs going off their head. Bull sharks in Parramatta River, absolutely, yeah? The big motherfuckers. They'll fucking bite ya. Anyway, Pat's ahead of me again, this motherfucker, right? I'm fucking unfit. Anyway, it's pitch dark. I'm scared. Let me tell you, I'm scared. I'm swimming across this big fucking wide river. I'm a good swimmer. Don't worry about that. I've got one arm, but lift one, drag one, lift one, drag one. As I'm going across the river, I feel something hit my leg. Thinking it's a bull shark, yeah? No, it was my other leg, but it could have been a bull shark. Anyway, I got to the other side finally. All right, water police and Pol Air are on their way. They're up. The chopper's up in the air. Water police are coming fucking in their jets up the fucking river. We're on the riverbank on the other side of Parramatta River in mud up to my neck. Big, thick mud and mangroves. The water police are just 20 metres away with their spotlights. They can't fucking see us. We're like fucking G.I. Joe, some kamikaze sort of shit, right? Pol Air are above us with the big fucking spotlight. They can't see us too because we're in fucking canopies of mangroves like fucking in the Vietnam, like in Vietnam, yeah? Anyway, for the next 200 metres, we crawl our way through these thick, muddy mangroves. I'm literally in mud up to my neck. It's like quicksand. You think you're going to sink, you're going to die. My body's getting ripped apart through all these shrubs and roots. Finally, we come up a little bit that we know to be Duck Creek. Now, there was a helicopter pad, believe it or not. I don't know what the fuck that helicopter pad is, but I'll never forget it. We come up with this helicopter pad. Now, the water police have shut down the whole Parramatta River. There's cops, there's choppers, there's fucking dog squads, there's everything. Well, fucking me, I've shimmied my way up fucking Duck Creek, and next minute we come up on Parramatta Speedway in the middle of this old demolition derby graveyard. All these smashed up cars. Do you remember? Oh, Parramatta Speedway's still there, yeah? We're in the middle of that. We're covered in mud. We're in our jail greens, but guess what? It's raining. The fucking, it's like God opens up the heavens and starts rinsing off the fucking mud off our bodies. By the time we hit James Roos Drive, an 8-lane highway, mind you, pumping on a fucking Wednesday night, we've got to get across from one end of the road to the other. It's a big fucking, and anyway, like Frogger, through the fucking cars, get to the other side. Now me and old mate Pat are trying to steal a car. This was always the plan. We're going to steal a car. Well, while Pat's trying to steal a car, we've both got implements. We've got a few tools on us because we're a little bit prepared. Anyway, we couldn't get a car. We started to break away from each other because I had money waiting for me, and I knew if I can just get a taxi or if I can get home, I'm scot-free. Pat's trying to get fucking a car. Well, we've separated. Next thing, he's gone. And guess what? A cab pulls up beside me. I'm rinse free. I'm still bleeding. And I jump in the back. I said, Smithfield, please. Where my partner was waiting for me. I forgot to tell you, at about 5 p.m. that afternoon, I ring up Michelle. This is a phone call from the Silverwater Remand and Reception Centre. If you do not wish to take this call, please hang up now. Michelle, happy birthday, by the way, babe. If I could come home tonight, would that be okay? It's like I wanted her fucking permission. I'm sure she's just gone, yes, Danny, rolled her eyes. Well, next minute, I arranged to make sure she had some cash on her as well. And these phone calls would have been intercepted after the escape, by the way. I make it to her house in Smithfield, right, in a cab. She comes out, she's in fucking shock, as you could imagine. I get in the cab, we're on our way to the Grandstand Hotel. I've got to go to Cabra. I've got to get on the heroin, right? I've been fucking chasing my whole life looking for heroin. Now I'm cashed. Bring the cash, Michelle. About half an hour later, her house, my mum's house, my dad's house, everyone's house got raided simultaneously by the squad, by the police, by the fucking task force, looking for fucking Danny Shannon. Poor Pat. He was found drunk on his partner's lounge or on some ex-girlfriend's lounge with a gun to his head by the coppers when he woke up, and he was pinched. He was pinched in about 4 hours, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Paigey. Well, me, I'm in the Grandstand Hotel with a fucking boot full of heroin because we've gone to Cabra. Imagine me being in Cabra, scoring whilst on the run from an escapade from jail, right? Red hot. Nursing a broken arm, black and blue, from my shoulder to my wrist. The next day, listen to this, the next day I'm in Livo, in this old graveyard at the back of Westfields. I know you guys know it if you know it. And guess what? I'm having a shot in the car, in the graveyard, and a cop has fucking pulled me and me girl up, right? No, it was just me. I don't remember, to be honest. And they said I gave an alias. I gave a bodgy, right? I gave the name fucking... I won't say it. I gave a body, but I knew it well. I knew the date of birth and everything. Anyway, the name came up clean. They said to me, "What's with all the cuts on you?" and all that. Quick thinking fucking me. I said I went motorbike riding. Looking like a half-tucked aspirin. I went motorbike riding on the weekend and I was just getting ripped up from the fucking shrubs. They let me go. Coppers had me on the fucking Thursday, on the 7th of February, before we made it. Anyway, long story short, actually, you want to hear the whole story. This is long-form content. This is YouTube shit. Then I met up for a dude called Wakai. Fuck. Wakai, I don't know if you remember, bro. And actually, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to be fucking implementing people. But I can't say that because I can't say this other people's shit. Anyway, my mate... Wakai helped me escape. Helped me get some ID together, and we next minute I'm in Perth with the partner, hanging out like a motherfucker, cashed up to the hilt, trying to buy heroin in Perth, right? I couldn't fucking get on. They got this putrid fucking shit called Homebake. They're these fully loaded syringes, $50 a pop or $100 a pop. I said, "Yep, give me 30." And I'm just shooting them up one after another. I should also mention, Michelle was pregnant with my unborn son. That's what I was going to say earlier. I'd only been locked back up again for 6 months or something. She was about 6 months pregnant. We took Josh, my son, on that trip to fucking Perth. And next minute, 3 days later, she's on the methadone too, bro. Guys, I'm a dumb cunt. Did I tell you that? 3 days later... or 4 or 5 days later, after abusing copious amounts of heroin, she had to get on the methadone again because otherwise the baby, you know, not me. I just thought, okay, but we thought, oh, we're in a state what warrants won't carry. You know, my warrant won't carry to Western Australia. Well, little did I know, we got her on the methadone, got her stable. Little did I know that New South Wales detectives were more than happy to come from fucking New South Wales. Like, it's true, in Perth my warrant wasn't valid, I think, but the Sydney detectives were happy to come pick us. Next minute, boom! Search warrant! They kicked the fucking doors in on the hotel. It's 5 a.m. There's a big bowl full of pot. There's syringes of home-baked heroin. They dragged my ass naked out beside the poolside. Got stomped. I was resisting arrest. Naked. All the fucking hotel rooms have come out. Here's Danny fucking getting flogged poolside. And Michelle, thank goodness, she was pregnant with my son. She was looked after. Well... I don't know exactly what happened. They took us to Perth Watch House where I spent the next 3 days in fucking misery, guys. Hanging out like a motherfucker. She got her dose. She got stable. Poor old Michelle was under arrest too because she got done for harbouring a criminal, right? Harbouring an escapade or something. And anyway, 3 days later... the New South Wales coppers, they came, they were there that day. 3 days it took them. They were obviously having a fucking party and shit for 3 days, and then they finally dragged my ass out of there, out of the Perth Watch House. They said to me, "Danny, if you fucking resist arrest, you were going to be fucking chucking you in the cargo hole, you little cunt." And they locked me and Michelle were flying back in the back seat of the plane, in the middle, with a detective on each side of us. And all I remember, one thing I do remember, guys, by the way, this is all pretty good memories to me. I don't regret nothing from my past. But one thing I do remember is when you're hanging out, and I was on about day 4, they give me nothing, all right? But I remember the little Dixie cups, the ice creams, them coming around. I said, "Could I get an extra one?" And the copper let me have one. Anyway, that night, we finally got back to Sydney, where the coppers actually let me and Michelle stay in the same cell at Bankstown Police Station. Big shout out to fucking the Bankstown coppers for letting me and her spend the night together. It was the last I was going to see her for quite some time. Do you know what, guys? Fuck telling these stories a long story. I think we'll just make that part 1, eh? Because there's definitely a part 2 here. All right, part 2, we're going to talk about how I got 21-day sentence. I want to tell you a little bit more about the court proceedings. I'm puffed. I'm exhausted. Like for part 2, motherfuckers. Meh.